Going out with your autistic child can be a very challenging and daunting process. Sometimes parents have had to think repeatedly as to whether they want to make that trip or that journey. And that's because you think of all the things that could possibly happen and also previous experiences where your child has had such meltdowns in the past. The experience and the feeling of you don't want to have to deal with that again sometimes puts up the going out. And let's face it, it is not easy. But sometimes parents have to go out and have to go to places like supermarket, have to go to church, have to go to events. What do you do when your child has a public meltdown or a meltdown in public? What do you do? This meltdown is a sign of overwhelm. Your child's nervous system is just overwhelmed. A cause of it's not caused by your child being naughty. Neither is it caused by you not being a capable parent, because I'm quite aware some people would look at, parents in public and think, oh, she should hold her child together, or why is she letting the child scream? Why is she letting the child run around? I have observed this in public places, on trains and buses, where very suddenly, people are criticizing the parents of children with autism without really understanding, one, that the child has autism and what autism means, and two, that the parent is trying their best at that time. And for members of the public, I think the last thing we should be doing is being critical of parents when they are in this situation. So, a meltdown in children with autism sometimes is caused by them just being completely overwhelmed. They've gone to a new place and then suddenly they're being hit with sensory stimuli from all kinds. They're being hit with smells, with lights, with people, with noise. There's noise coming from everywhere. Think about it. You going to a place where you don't know where the sounds are coming from. They're all coming at the same time. And you just breaking down and just not being able to cope. That's what it is like for children with autism. And so when they have these meltdowns, there are two ways the children can present. They can either run around or run off from where they are, sometimes even to a place of danger. Some of them might run into the roads and be almost hit by a car, or they just run quite far. Sometimes they would run repeatedly in circles, or they would scream and cry so much that they're uncontrollable. In another situation, the child might just be quite frozen and shut down, may not speak. Um, the child is there, but it's almost like you cannot reach the child. They're very distant from you. And so you can have these two ways in which the children present. Parents at that time could be so distressed because they might be in the middle of their shopping. And sometimes parents have been noted to just throw things away or just push things away so that they can sort the child out. Yes, because the child is at risk of danger. So, what should parents do during this time? Before you leave the house, it's important to think about where you are going to. Think about that supermarket you're going to. Is there a quiet place there where you can move your child to when they're distressed, especially when they get into that red zone where they've completely gone? Think about that. Is there a quieter place, is there a calmer place? And where do you park the car when you get there? If you've driven there, where do you park the car? Because it's supposed to help you. All planning helps you to think about where you go to and how quickly you can get away from there. Sometimes just moving your child into the car removes that noise from outside and makes them more settled. Think about the times when you have to go to the shop. It's better to choose quieter times where the shop is less busy and you are not going to be encountering lots and lots of people. Also good to look at shops that are friendly towards neurodivergent children, where people are more understanding rather than a huge busy shop. You have to know how long that you're going to be spending there, because you're not going to go and do a huge shop with your child with autism by you. They will be They will be tired, they will get exhausted, and more likelihood of meltdowns. It's so important to take consideration of all these things. And if meltdowns do happen, if they do happen, then the best thing is go get your child to a place of safety. Be very aware of the area they're having a meltdown so that they're not pushing and hitting into things that will be of danger to them. We do know some children have sustained some injuries from having meltdowns because they've hit their hands, they've hit their heads. And that's what you don't want. You want to move them away from danger, and you want to make sure they're safe. Try very much to stay calm inside you because it can be difficult, but try not to raise your voice. Try and maintain calm and just reassure them to know that you're there. You're not going to be asking lots of questions about what's wrong with you, what is this, because sometimes parents can go into repetitive questioning, and that just makes the child even more distressed when they're overwhelmed with questions. Just offer some reassurance to tell the child, you're safe, I'm here, in a calm voice, and tell them we're going to go somewhere quieter because it helps you acknowledge the fact, and they know that you've acknowledged that fact that they have been overwhelmed because of the busy area. Move away from the noise and the crowds. Just move away. Don't lecture him, just move away and just don't keep talking. Allow him to calm down in that quieter place. The likelihood is when you get to somewhere that is quieter, your child will also calm down and get quieter. After your child has quietened down, try and see whether they need anything like fluids or something to eat because it is quite exhausting. And once they've settled down and you've gotten back home and they're calmer, at that time you can ask, and not asking direct questions, but say to them, that they had a difficult day, and you can work together to see what could make things better the next time. So it's not at that point where the child is dysregulating. And again, your ability to say anything or get a response from your child depends on the age of your child. For younger children, you may not be able to get anything out. For older children, there might come at that point of reflection afterwards where you are acknowledging that the child has been through a very that was hard for them, and that next time we can work through what will make it less hard, and the child might be able to tell you one or two things. You do not need to make your child invisible. You do not need to keep them away for things that you're going to. You just need to have a plan for when you're going out, what you're going to do. It takes a lot of preparation and planning for these outings. And hopefully that helps to reduce some of the adverse effect that could come through. If you can have a card with you which just points to people in the public when they're looking at you to say, my child is overwhelmed, my child is autistic, and that should explain to people around you. So I hope that this episode has been useful. I have written a longer article on Substack, which offers a lot more information in depth about what to do, the stages. If you can go on Substack, you would be able to read that article where I've gone into this in more detail. Thank you.